there doesn't even need to be an intro. Let's just get into this. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a childbirth educator, a labor and birth doula, and a mom of 2 little boys, and I'm passionate about helping women feel empowered to give birth to their babies fearlessly. Let's get into this. Active labor is when labor really picks up. My baby's laughing at me. Oh my gosh, okay. Active labor is really when labor picks up and contractions become more and more intense. I'm just gonna totally do a disclaimer. I am doing this video while my son is sitting on the other couch laughing at me. He is 3 months old, propped up on a little pillow so that he can look at me. So you'll probably hear him throughout the video, but that's okay. So one way to visualize active labor is to think about it like waves in the ocean. So when you're in shallow waters and the waves are barely hitting your ankles, and really they don't bother you very much, but you can feel them, you know that they're happening, you know that they're hitting your ankles. They're totally, you're able to get through them. Right? So that's similar to early labor. But let's say as you get deeper and the waves become more and more intense and they grow taller and they come crashing down more, and you actually have to start focusing on how you're going to wade over them, it can become more and more intense. This is kind of similar to active labor. So now, speaking of this analogy, let's just say for this analogy's sake that you don't know how to swim. Let's say you go into the ocean, you're being thrown into this where the waves are crashing down and you don't know how to swim. That would be pretty intense, pretty terrifying, and you probably wouldn't be in control very much of your body or your breathing or anything. And in that moment, you might decide, I need a boat to come save me like right now, okay? But by getting on the boat, you might be missing out on the silence and the fish and the coral that happens underneath those waves if you were to dive into them. So now imagine instead that you are trained by a personal swim coach. A personal swim coach who gave you goggles, flippers, a snorkel, and other tools to make swimming in this ocean easier. A personal coach who is waiting beside you on a lifeguard surfboard, reminding you of when to dive through the wave, when to hold your breath, and when to relax when the wave isn't crashing over top of you. This personal swim coach who also is there, to help you if you need to be pulled back up or whatever the case is. She's there right beside you, guiding you along, telling you you can do it, reminding you of your goals so that you don't ask to get put onto that boat. Probably seems a little more doable, a little more bearable, and maybe less scary having that person out there in the water with you. Hiring a doula is exactly like having a personal swim coach in this analogy, but for labor and birth. A doula is trained to help you gain tools to work through the waves of labor. She is one of your biggest cheerleaders, advocates, and your biggest fan. She is someone who is entirely focused on you, your desires for your labor and birth experience. As a doula, I come into a woman's birth experience with tools that we've practiced when she hires me at the beginning of her pregnancy. Tools like breathing techniques, counter pressure, acupressure, reassurance, compassion, and belief. Doulas also come prepared to keep mama focused on breathing and relaxation methods, to help her focus through those surges by really getting to know her personally and understand how she best functions and feels the most supported. Doulas also work to empower your birth partner to be right beside you and be your primary support person. We are there to say, hey, let's go see if mama wants a massage, or let's go see if she needs a sip of water. So we definitely work side by side with your husband or your birth partner to really support you the best way that we can. And of course, we encourage your partner, especially if that partner is your husband, to love on you the best way that they know you receive love. because that's not something we can do. Like, we can be your friend in labor, we can do those, but as an intimate partner, they are your primary always. Some tangible tools that doulas can bring in their doula bag, if we'll put it, to your labor are things like birth combs, are things like essential oils, especially if you've provided them, are things like affirmations or massage tools, and so much more. But this is very individual to the doula. So each doula will have a different array of tools in their tool bag. And some, like me, will come with very few because we are more focused on mindset and the physical hands-on, like counter pressure and the double hip squeeze, than we are with the other types of tools. So it's really important to ask your doula in her interview what kind of things she'll bring to your birth, and if what she brings to your birth can be added or subtracted based on what you want. Your doula can be someone who's filling the birth pool so that your primary support, your husband or your birth partner, can be there with you while you're laboring. They can be the one that's laying out the towels and the blankets and the shower curtain on your bed so that your midwife can be with you and that your partner can be with you, especially if you're deciding to have a home birth. Which, if you haven't looked, go check out my home birth video up here, the essentials that I suggest you have for a home birth. Your doula can also be someone who runs out and gets your spouse or your birth partner food if labor is going for a while. Doulas are also typically trained to know to change up positions to try and help labor move along faster. We also know what it means based on baby's positioning, how we can try and encourage baby into a better situational position in your pelvis. So these are all incredible reasons to have a doula. If you decide to not hire a birth photographer, but you want a couple of those really intimate first seeing your baby moments, your doula can also take those photos for you. They can be the one that takes a step back, snaps the photo of baby on your chest for the first time, or you, your birth partner, and baby all together for the very first time. We can also snap pictures of you and your partner throughout labor if that's something that you desire, especially if it's not in your budget to hire a birth photographer. Just because you can't hire one doesn't mean that you can't have pictures. They can also be the ones that go and ask for the ice chips or ask for the water to be able to give you so that your partner can stay right beside you all the time. And if your partner needs to take a step out of the room, your doula can be there so that you have continuous support through your entire labor so that you are not left alone. And of course, depending on the doula, they may even include it in their package to help you with immediate breastfeeding, to help refer you to a lactation consultant if that's something that you need, if you're struggling with that first latch and that first couple of feedings. They're also able to help you immediately with postpartum care so that baby can be with dad and you can have someone help you walk you to the bathroom, to bring you water or a hot cloth or whatever it is in those immediate postpartum moments immediately after baby is born. Now, if that doesn't make you want to hire a doula, you might be someone who just doesn't need a doula in their birth. And if that's the case, then great. Go for it. Have so much fun. But if that description got you set on fire and you want to hire a doula, go and look into the doulas in your area, research them, go interview them, book their free consultations, and see who is the right fit for you and your birth desires and expectations. I'm a firm believer that there is a perfect doula for every single family, and that not every doula is perfect for every family. So it's really important to get to know the doulas in your area and to choose the one that you jive with the best. After all, labor is a super intimate space, so they are someone that you should be able to trust, that your partner feels super comfortable around, and that you feel will be able to advocate for your needs and desires for you. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked this video, give it a like and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so that you don't miss any other videos that I put out. And we will see you in the next video. Bye!